September 27, 1964. Silent verdict. The Warren Commission publicly released its report on the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. That release marked a defining moment in American governance, public trust, investigative norms, and the evolving relationship between government institutions and citizens. The Commission's report had been delivered 3 days earlier, on September 24, to President Lyndon Johnson, but its public unveiling ensured that its findings would enter public debate. The 888-page report declared that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone in assassinating Kennedy, and that Jack Ruby likewise acted alone in killing Oswald. It asserted no credible evidence of a conspiracy, foreign or domestic. The report also recommended reforms to executive protection and legal procedures. The significance of this moment lies in its institutional, social, and political consequences. The formation of the Warren Commission had itself been a response to crisis. Following Kennedy's assassination on November 22, 1963, and the subsequent murder of Oswald by Ruby 2 days later, doubts and rumors flourished. President Johnson issued Executive Order 1130 on November 29, 1963, to establish a commission to examine all relevant facts, compel testimony, and produce a definitive account. The commission was chaired by Chief Justice Earl Warren. It drew from agencies such as the FBI, the Secret Service, and other federal and local bodies, combining their records with new witness interviews, forensic analysis, and review of photographic and film evidence, including the Zapruder film. The commission's methods reflected both ambition and restraint. It accepted, in many cases, agency-provided material rather than independently duplicating all investigations, but it also staged reenactments and consulted ballistic, medical, and photographic experts. Public anticipation built in the nearly 10 months before report delivery. The public release on September 27 signaled an effort by the federal government to reclaim narrative authority concerning the tragedy. Institutionally, the release reinforced the ideal of a central federal investigation even in cases of national trauma. The commission advanced the role of independent commissions in adjudicating politically charged events. It set a precedent for later bodies. Federal inquiry panels in future controversies would often emulate the format of a blue ribbon commission empowered to subpoena, collect evidence, and issue final findings. The report's recommendations also pressured existing institutions to reform. Its critique of Secret Service security lapses spurred procedural changes in presidential protection. It urged Congress to criminalize the assassination of a sitting president, if not already federal, to tighten coordination among intelligence agencies, and to improve oversight of executive security operations. By making the findings public, the government sought to project transparency and restore order in a fractious milieu. Socially, the public release constituted a moment of inoculation. By making the Commission's report accessible, the government aimed to stem conspiratorial currents and public skepticism. The prevailing belief among many Americans, however, did not fully align with the Commission's conclusions. Surveys in later years showed persistent doubt about soul guilt conclusions and lingering belief in conspiracies. The 1964 release thus represents both an exercise in official authority and a turning point in public expectations of accountability. It fed a long trajectory of inquiry in which citizens, scholars, activists, and watchdog bodies would revisit, reinterpret, and challenge official narratives. Politically, the timing of the release had weight. In the mid-1960s, the Cold War and civil rights conflicts taxed public trust in institutions. The government needed to demonstrate legitimacy in the face of grief, suspicion, and political division. By putting forward a unified, detailed account, the Commission sought to anchor public discourse. The report's clarity, its technical depth, and its exclusion of conspiracy narratives aimed to delimit speculation. The public release served as a defining moment when the executive branch asserted its capacity to investigate itself, at least partly, through independent luminaries like the Chief Justice. It also forestalled competing narratives emerging from Congress or state-level actors. Over the long run, the release shaped how future national traumas would be processed. The Warren Commission model became a reference point in debates over the investigative authority of commissions, executive accountability, and the permissible boundaries of secrecy. Its public release also prompted new expectations of institutional transparency. Citizens would demand not just judgments, but access to supporting data, hearings, and artifact disclosure. In subsequent decades, dissatisfaction with unanswered questions about Kennedy's assassination would spur the 1979 House Select Committee on Assassinations, later archival mandates under the JFK Records Act of 1992, and continuing efforts to test or revise the Warren conclusions. The 1964 public release of the Warren Report marks not just a historical statement about one tragedy, but a foundation for how the United States manages collective trauma, preserves institutional legitimacy, and negotiates the boundary between secrecy and public accountability. Its significance lies in its attempt to assert, through rigorous presentation, a singular conclusion in the face of national uncertainty, and in how that attempt framed subsequent debates, truth, and governance. For enthusiasts of historical ephemera, visit history-collectors.com to find collectibles that might complement your collection. You can own a piece of history.